may gusto ngayon na ibato si Bato sa ICC. Pero hindi naman yung legislature, at least that's not what their laws say.
Kasi Senator, yung issue ni PRRD, may involvement ng Interpol. Etong kay Senator Bato de la Rosa, walang involvement ng Interpol eh. Ano ba talaga yung proseso? Sa simpleng paliwanag, from ICC, mapupunta sa Interpol, then PCTC, then what's next?
And then, after PCTC, sa aming pag-understanding na, and if it is processed already, then they can, transpose it, inform the different law enforcement agencies. Kasi principal argument namin, wala nang jurisdiction yung ICC. But granting for the sake of argument na may jurisdiction yan, recognition of a warrant of arrest, foreign warrant of arrest, is different from enforcement of a warrant of arrest. When you enforce a warrant of arrest, coming off from a foreign country, you could not treat it as self-executing kasi may batas din tayo. Okay? You have to pass through the local courts because under Article 59, okay, hindi namin ina-accept yung Rome Statute, under Section 1, in accordance with national law, ang pagdakip ng cooperation mechanism ng ICC. So, hindi po pwede, nagdakpin mo lang siya parang manok. Yan ang ginasasabi mo. At ginasabi ko always, at dalahin mo doon sa Netherlands without passing through our local courts. Kaya nga, sinasabi namin, sabi nila, may due process naman. Anong due process? Don't they know that the ICC follows the inquisitorial method of investigation? What is that? Secret. How can we know ano yung kinakaso sa amin? Secret nga. Bato has never been accorded due process. It will only be the very first time here in our country that he will be accorded due process. Kaya nga, kailangan na dumaan sa ating korte.
Manhunt. Do you think...
labeled as fugitive na eh.
Labeled as fugitive. Do you think nasa tama ba yung timing o hindi pa dapat inantay muna nila yung Monday bago nila in-issue to? At bakit kaya sila nagmamadali?
Actually, blessing in disguise yan, boss. And bakit blessing in disguise yan? It shows now and it proves the government's double-speak policy, which is akin to perfidy in international law. No? What is perfidy? The concept of perfidy presents only in a war situation. Kunyari, kalaban ka. Pero I am applying it by analogy. Kunyari, sa kalaban, gera kayo, naggaganyan ka ng white flag, gusto mo makipag-usap. Yan ang mga peace talk mo. Ayan din ang ginagawa nila noon. We have no intention to arrest him. We will only arrest him if he will go out of the country. So, they made the people believe that such really is the policy. Right? But what they are doing actually, ang NBI nandun na, morning pa lang nandun na, okay? Iba yung sinasabi, iba yung gustong gawain. What is that? Double-speak policy. Now, naglabas lang ng TRO, wala pang ang order, lumabas na ang totoong kilay nila. Oo. Hindi kulay, kilay. Oo. Kasi yung kilay nila pala talaga, ito na. Dakpin talaga nila si Senator Bato without going through the local courts. Ito, iba kasi ang aming, the people will understand that we are an independent country. We have our own sovereignty. And as such, we have our own 1987 Constitution. Na natin yung jurisdiction kasi principal argument namin, wala nang jurisdiction yung ICC. But granting for the sake of argument na may jurisdiction yan, recognition of a warrant of arrest, foreign warrant of arrest, is different from enforcement of a warrant of arrest. When you enforce a warrant of arrest, coming off from a foreign country, you could not treat it as self-executing kasi may batas din tayo. Okay? You have to pass through the local courts because under Article 59, okay, hindi namin ina-accept yung Rome Statute, under Section 1, in accordance with national law, ang pagdakip ng cooperation mechanism ng ICC. So, hindi po pwede, nagdakpin mo lang siya parang manok. Yan ang ginasasabi mo. At ginasabi ko always, at dalahin mo doon sa Netherlands without passing through our local courts. Kaya nga, sinasabi namin, sabi nila, may due process naman. Anong due process? Don't they know that the ICC follows the inquisitorial method of investigation. What is that? Secret. Oh, how can we know ano yung kinakaso sa amin? Is secret nga. Bato has never been accorded due process. It will only be the very first time here in our country that he will be accorded due process. Kaya nga, kailangan na dumaan sa ating korte.
Partner, linawin lang natin yun yung inquisitorial
At accusatorial.
Saka accusatorial. Kasi tinuturo po sa law school yan. Ang sistema natin, accusatorial. I accuse you, sumagot ka, magtalo tayo sa piskal, pagpalagay ko may probable cause, kasuhan kita. That's accusatorial. Yun ang demokrasya natin. Ang inquisitorial, sikreto, one way, parang ex parte, no? I suppose.
Ex parte.
Ex parte, no? Na mag-imbestiga sila, which is what they did. They admitted na secret yung proceedings nila. Sa kanila legal yun. Sa atin hindi. So if they say na we afforded Bato due process kasi nag-imbestiga kami, iba po yung meaning ng imbestiga sa kanila kasi one way. Dito two way.
Pero ang binabangga kasi nila doon sa Article 59 ng Rome Statute, yung R8 9851 sa Section 17.
Okay, magandang
Kasi
usapan
bakit
yan.
daw
Magandang
natin
usapan
sinusunod
yan.
yung Rome Statute, wala na nga tayo doon. So, ito sa 9851 ng RA is sa Section 17, pwede isuko nandun.
Hindi. Ganito kasi yan, sir.
Mm.
Release namin yan when RA 87, RA 9851 was passed in Congress in 2009. And we found out that in February and in March of 2009, there was a deliberation. Marami yung iba-ibang senador, but let's fast track. During the deliberation of Senator Ligarda as well as Senator Gordon, there was a question, how would we implement surrender mechanism? Would RA 9851 be enough? According to Senator Gordon, no, that's not enough. Okay? There has to be a law that would provide more teeth to the provisions of surrender. So meaning, it is not self-executing. And I will prove you why. Because Section 17 states of two mechanisms. Surrender or extradition. Extradition, we have a law, PD 1069. As to how law is not enough, there must be rules of procedure. There is a rule of procedure promulgated by the Supreme Court. Alam natin kung saan i-file, RTC. Alam natin kung sino ang mag-file, DFA through DOJ. Alam natin yan. That is provided in a rule. Sa surrender, meron ba? Wala. Why? Because we did not, according to the deliberations in the Senate, we did not copy Part 9 of the Rome Statute, which is the cooperation mechanisms. So therefore, the cooperation mechanisms of surrender under the Rome Statute, hindi natin kinopya. It is up for us to provide the procedural mechanism, pero hindi natin ginawa. All constitutional democracies, be it Italy, United Kingdom, France, Belgium, all provided their own procedural mechanism as to how to implement surrender. We are the only most unique country which would allow our own national to be surrendered right away without going through courts. Their jurisprudence, we have. In Italy, for instance, El Masri, the El Masri Nassim case, he was a Libyan in 2002, arrested via an ICC warrant. What did Italy do? Even if he was a Libyan, Italy entertained his petition, deliberated upon it, and it was found out that his rights were not respected. He was released, but eventually deported to Libya. Ivory Coast, dalawa lang ha, because there are 21 other cases. Dalawa lang, Ivory Coast, the Simon Gbagbo case. Also, there was a foreign warrant of arrest. What did Ivory Coast? They insisted, the Ivory Coast courts gave him his day in court and decided, we will not surrender it to the ICC. Did ICC protest? No. Because in their own rules of procedure, in their own statute, they will respect the national choice.
Pero there's an counter-argument of a lawyer. Sabi niya, yung surrender is already the procedure. Kasi wala na daw parang, kaya nakalagay naman na daw dun, surrender. So definitely surrender.
Ito, kasaysayan na lang. Kasaysayan. Madalas po, di ba, may treaty, may tratado sa global community. Yung parang nagkakasundo sila na, ayaw na natin sa war crimes, ha? Parang ganyan, no? And then, yung mga bansa, after, gagawa ng batas para isakatuparan yung gusto ng treaty. Okay, yun po yung karaniwan. Baliktad ang nangyari dito, ha? Ang nangyari dito, nung 2010, nauna yung 9851. Wala pa tayo sa treaty, hindi pa natin na-ratify. Pero aware na sila sa treaty. So, ibig sabihin, ginawa yung 9851 independently sa Rome Statute. Bakit ginawa? Kasi gusto ng Kongreso at Senado, ng Congress as a whole noon, na gawing krimen ang crimes against humanity, war crimes, aggression, genocide. No? So, naging crime na siya dito. Bakit? Kasi dati hindi. Ngayong krimen na siya dito siya lilitisin. Okay, yung sinasabi ni Atty. Torion, naglagay ba tayo doon ng surrender mechanism to the ICC? Sabi nga nila, Senator Gordon, hindi nga. Unang-una, wala pa tayo doon sa treaty. Nung time na yun. Ba't tayo gagawa ng surrender mechanism to a treaty na hindi pa natin niraratipika? Yun po yung pinaka-basic po. Sana po nakukuha ninyo yung explanation. That the sequence matters. No? Bakit nila sasabihin na pwede na yung surrender to the ICC? Eh, hindi pa nga kami ICC noon.
Sino may kasalanan at bakit wala pa yung procedural mechanism?
Hindi siya kasalanan eh. I think it is clear legislative intent na dito litisin. Meron pong clear legislative intent. Sino ba ang may gusto ngayon na ibato si Bato sa ICC?
Yung nagbabato.
Hindi naman pero hindi naman yung legislature, at least that's not what their laws say. Their laws do not say that. It's the executive na gusto ibato si Bato.
As a matter of fact, sir, if they just read the transcript of the
Oo,
minutes of
basahin
the
nyo.
meeting,
Parang awa nyo na.
RA 9851 was enacted to fortify, strengthen our criminal laws such that any violation of crimes against humanity, war crimes, genocide can be tried here. That is the purpose of that law.
O isang basic ha, meron yung sinasabi namin na sa mga criminal law books, criminal law 1, yung nullum crimen, nulla pena sine lege. Ang ibig sabihin nun, there is no crime if there is no law criminalizing it. Ibig sabihin, banat by, kaya ka lang makukulong pag may pinatay ka. Kasi nakalagay sa RPC na bawal ang murder tsaka homicide. Kung wala yon, hindi ka pwede ikulong. Kahit masama pa yan sa religion mo o whatever, there has to be a law that criminalizes it. At dati, ang genocide, ang crimes against humanity, etc., yung 4 na core crimes sa ICC, hindi krimen dito. Ginawang krimen dito.
Doon sa
Sa
9851.
1951.
Para i-trial dito.
Para i-try dito.
Yan ang purpose ng RA 9851.
Kaya walang surrender doon. Kasi, ang nakalagay doon, dito.
Tsaka, okay, sabi nila, surrender. Okay. Pag magdakip ka kasi ng tao, constitutionally, daan talaga yan sa korte. Because you are depriving liberty. Hindi po pwede na ang executive department lang ang mag-determine. Dictatorship yan, dictatorship yan. The Bill of Rights was specifically enshrined, no, in order to protect us from government excesses. Kaya nga sinasabi ko, between a leviathan of governmental power and the individual lies a shield, and that shield is the Bill of Rights. And what is my further basis? Treaty law. If you look at the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, Article 9 thereof, in cases of arrest, we are a signatory to that in 1986. And we have to follow that. In cases of arrest in whatever jurisdiction, that person arrested has to have a judicial recourse. Not only that, Articles 8 and 9 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, of which we are likewise a party, mandates judicial recourse also. So our basis is not only the Rome Statute. We do not even recognize it. Our basis is the Constitution, treaty law, customary international law. Kaya nga, sa aking palagay, kung maging open lang yung mind natin at mangyayari yan sa kanila. Yung nagsabi na the law does not distinguish judge daw, any judge, it contemplates a foreign judge. O, tingnan natin kung may Chinese warrant of arrest. Tapos, ikiha siya, especially yung tao na what you call this, demean kay yung leader.
Kay
Yung nag-drawing ng karton. Okay. Ipatrial natin yan. Pa-issuehan natin ang warrant of arrest doon sa China. Tapos i-implement natin dito. Sabi ninyo probable cause can be determined by any judge. I-implement dito. Tingnan natin kung papayag ba sila. That cannot happen simply because of the fact that when you involve deprivation of liberty, that constitutionally belongs to the judiciary, and judiciary, in accordance with Ho versus People, the determination of probable cause for purposes of warrant of arrest can only be determined personally by the judge, and that power is non-delegable. Hindi pwede matransfer yan maski sino. That is likewise the case of Salazar versus Achacoso. So we likewise have jurisprudence on our side. Constitution, jurisprudence, treaty law, customary international law.
Pero kasi ang medyo nagiging problema ngayon, yung batas na ginawa ng legislative branch, ini-execute ng executive branch
Yun.
na medyo sumasablay. I know, hindi ko sure kung kaya nyo sagutin to, but do you think it's about time for the Supreme Court to come in and say, this is how to interpret that law?
With utmost due respect, I refuse to do that because I am an officer of the court.
Siguro ito na lang.
Yes, sir.
You are confident na sa Monday, mag-decide ang korte in your favor.
Hindi pa. Kasi they already decided 9-6. What we are just awaiting
TRO
is
yun.
sa TRO pa lang yun. What we are awaiting on Monday would just be the written order na. So written order, we would know already the details,
Written order ng TRO
Oh
is
yes,
what he
written
means.
order on the TRO issue. Hindi pa ito main case yung sa provisional remedy pa lang. So makikita na namin, ma-study na namin ni Jimmy, mga associates ko, yung mga rason bakit na-deny yung aming TRO.
Pero malaki palang problema natin sa bansa, no? Paano kung
Malaki.
gago talaga yung executive? Sorry pero basta. Paano kung talagang gago yung executive na magpapatupad ng batas?
Yan. Sige, let's discuss that. Kasi po, yung sinasabi ni Atty. Bobet kanina, across all constitutional democracies, ni isang bansa, wala po yung executive matik pwedeng magpa-huli
Matic. I like the word.
na matik
Executive
lang.
matic. Oh.
No? Walang ganon. Kasi kahit gaano ka makapangyarihan, basta constitutional democracy, we're not talking about the other forms of government, ha? Sa demokrasya, dadaan pa rin. Kahit si Trump ka pa na ganun kalakas, idaan mo sa korte yan. What the administration and its supporters are proposing now is a very dangerous idea, which is, bibigyan ng kapangyarihan ang executive magpatapo ng kahit sino, hindi dadaan sa judicial review. Can you imagine the consequences? And look at the absurdity. Kapag ikaw, Banat Bay, may kinasuhan ka dito, may gusto kang padampot, o kaya kahit gobyerno may gustong padampot, based on a local charge, kunyari drugs, dadaan pa sa piskal yan, di ba? May preliminary investigation, di ba? May sagutan, ifa-file sa korte, titingnan ng korte kung may second probable cause, kasi yung una sa piskal, kung may probable cause dito, under yan. Tama? Basta, mahabang proseso yan. Ang haba, di ba? Hindi ko nga ma-explain dahil masyadong maiksi ang oras natin. Pero kapag sa ICC, walang ganun. Can you imagine the absurdity of that na di ko type yung mukha nito crimes against humanity ko kaya yung pagmumukha nito.
Attorney, sabi kasi nung nag-interview sa yung Bastos, tawag dito, hindi daw kaya ng korte natin. Sabi ng DOJ,
that's a
kaya
very
pumasok daw
dangerous-
tong yung ICC.
Pero bakit pag si Bong Revilla, kaya nila? Bakit kapag sila Pangulo, sila Enrile dati, kaya nila? Di ba? Sila Jinggoy, kinasuhan nila.
That's
Bakit yun
dangerous,
kaya nila?
Yung hindi kaya daw?
Oo, yes. It is a proclamation based on nothing.
Ako rin, may na-answer na ako na, you are underestimating the intellectual capacities of Filipinos. Filipinos are known to be highly intelligent in whatever jurisdiction that they may be placed in. And as a matter of fact, when you place a Filipino abroad, they tend to shine. And their brightness is such that everyone can notice the same. So I don't think that we cannot do it. If we have the political will to do it, we can do it. It's only that our administration now has a different political will. And sad to say, maybe the political will is to extend its term and perhaps continue their reign in power. I may be mistaken, but that's how I feel.
Pero, attorney, ang akin kasi, ang iniinsulto nila, hindi lamang yung Pilipino as a whole. Para sa akin po, Supreme Court ang iniinsulto nila doon, ha? I don't know why wala pang sumisita doon, no? Kasi para na rin nilang sinabi na kayo sa Supreme Court, hindi nyo kaya to. That is completely untrue, una sa lahat, and it is also completely disrespectful. Lalo na, at ito, tinatrabaho nga nila, nagpapile ang OSG ng comment, umagana naman, di ba? Nagbabalikan tayo ng sagot. O bakit hindi gagana?
Kaso ngayon, may nilabas tong NBI na without delay daw. Ang pag-aresto kay
Again,
Senator
alam
Bato.
mo, if you want to just understand the big picture, yung executive, minamadali. Ito, it's very clear, may evidence yan dahil nung Lunes pa lang, yung sinabi ng NBI, aarestuhin nila si Bato. Tapos may binugbog na usaha. Bukod sa inabol si Bato, may binugbog. Tapos di umano, may mga naririnig na lumilipad di ba doon, di umano yon kasi walang reports. Pero I got that from a reliable source. Tapos may drilling na may mga locksmith doon na hindi ko alam kung
Binabantayan yung paintings.
binabantayan daw yung mga paintings, no?
Tapos nag-add na lang daw ng bolts.
Oo. Alam nyo, nakakatawa na nga. Pero the clear intent is there, nagmamadali yung executive at ayaw nilang dumaan sa judicial scrutiny. Bakit? Kasi may hindi naman foolproof, pero maganda ang sistema kasi ng korte. Doon kasi palakasan lang ng boses at ng kapangyarihan. Sa korte, hindi ganoon.
Let's go back to dun sa issue na tinanong ni paring RJ, yung sa kay Ces Drilon,
Ay,
na, hindi, diretsuin na natin. Sinasabi kasi nila, humingi siya ng backup mula kay Ed Lingao. Humingi siya ng backup na bawal daw, ibig sabihin, kailangan i-serve personally. Mali daw yung sinasabi mo na
Hindi.
ibigay sa abogado. Now, what's your side?
Kasi nga, ang nangyari po sa interview niyon, I tried very hard na makasingit po doon. And until now, I try very hard to respect her. Kasi matagal na po siya sa industriya. Kaya po putol-putol yung sinasabi ko. Sa dami po ng mga interview na ginawa ko, sinabi ko na kung si Trillanes, binibigyan nyo ng kapangyarihan na mag-serve ng warrant, delikado yan. Di ako na lang. I've been saying that kami na lang ang magsaserve. Bakit? Kasi hindi naman ito local warrant. At it is not even a foreign warrant validated by the local courts. It is simply a questionable foreign piece of paper. Kaya ang sinasabi ko, bakit nyo isa-serve na suhulihin nyo? For the safety of my client, wag na kayo. Kung pwede rin lang si Trillanes, ako na lang. Kaso, before I could even make that slightly humorous but challenging point, naputol na ako.
Pero attorney, nakita mo na ba?
Oo.
Nakita nyo na yung warrant? Kasi di ba,
ako hindi pa,
hinihingi,
pero-
di ba?
Actually, nakapost na sa ICC, nung unsealed na daw nila, nandun na daw.
Pero attorney, ano ba ang proseso talaga dito? Kasi may argumento din na si Senator, yung issue ni PRRD, may involvement ng Interpol. Etong kay Senator Bato de la Rosa, walang involvement ng Interpol Ano ba talaga yung proseso? Sa simpleng paliwanag. From ICC, mapupunta sa Interpol, then PCTC, then what's next?
And then, after PCTC, sa aming pag-understanding na, and if it is processed already, then they can, transpose it, inform the different law enforcement agencies. Doon kasi, at that time, in May 11, wala pa yung nagawa.
Oo.
Kaya nga, I would lawyer for my very good friend and my law partner. At that time, may punto talaga siya. Because in the first place, we do not have the procedural mechanism
Wala nga.
and in the Philippines as to how to serve the said warrant of arrest. Yun nga. So, kumbaga, how can it be that a private person would serve a warrant of arrest when there is no proof that he has been deputized by the ICC to serve such warrant of arrest? Has he been appointed as a sheriff of the ICC? There is no proof of that.
Attorney, i-follow ko lang sinabi niya, yung so pag binigay na dun sa Interpol, okay na ba yun?
Hindi, PCTC pa.
PCTC. Supposedly, ang aming argumento doon, yung PCTC, kasi nga, yung foreign divorce decree nga, pinapapasa pa natin doon sa RTC for petition for confirmation of foreign judgment. Okay? So, ang sa amin doon, it would be the job sana, if there is a procedural mechanism, suggestion namin, idaan yan sa local court ng PCTC. Idaan yan para ipa-confirm muna, and even if we will be quarreling as to what will be the procedure. And why will be quarreling as to what will be the procedure? Kasi nga, hindi kayo nagbigay ng procedural mechanism as to how to effectuate surrender, di ba? Kung i-follow natin yung hindi namin nare-recognize under Article 59, shortened version yun. 3 questions lang yun. Is this the person who is the subject matter of the arrest? No? And second process, nakalimutan ko. Ang third, has his rights been respected? Shortened process yun. Pero kung yung ini-insist namin that it has to be transformed into a local warrant of arrest, long process yun.
So yung PCTC is a court.
No.
No.
It is an executive agency which is tasked to handle
Transnational crimes.
transnational crimes.
From there, kailangan pa dumaan ng court.
Yes.
Sa aming
sa
version,
inyong
sa aming
Hindi.
side.
Tsaka pati
Oo.
sa regulations ng ICC, nakalagay yun na kung ano man yung transnational crimes sa division nyo dyan sa bansa nyo, dadaan pa rin yan sa competent judicial authority.
In accordance nga with national laws. Kung in accordance with national laws, how do we determine probable
So sa tingin
cause
ninyo,
here?
attorney, kung gagawin ito ng gobyerno ngayon, yung proseso na sinasabi ninyo, di parang umamin na sila na mali yung ginawa nila kay Pangulong Duterte noon.
Yun.
Siguro,
Napakagandang point niyan. Kaya rin hindi sila, parang mate sila eh. Kasi pag ginawa nila, biglang mali yung kay Duterte. So
mali
void
naman
ngayon
talaga.
yun.
Sa akin palagay, mali talaga yung kay
Mali
Tatay
naman
Digong.
talaga yan, no?
Mali talaga yung kay Tatay Digong. In whatever constitutional democracies yan, yun pa lang ang first time na ginawa yun na hindi dumaan sa korte ng local court. Kaya nga, nag-file kami ng kidnapping
Which is
Pending
pending
ngayon
pa yan.
sa ombudsman. Oo. And I'm hoping na at least meron man lang resolution nun. Pero in fairness, ni-require naman yung kabila to answer na. Yun nga lang, nawala si Sir Boying Rimulya as one of the respondents based also on the order of the ombudsman.
So paano tatakbo yung isa?
Ang galing, no? Ang galing talaga.
Oo nga.
Alam mo,
Natanong naman ako. Kasi nakakuhan na ako eh. Alam niyo naman, di ba?
Oo.
Nakapusta ako eh.
Pwede ka nang
Pusta ka, boss?
itapon sa ICC.
Nakapusta siya, attorney.
Ako, alam nila lahat. Alam ng mga kalaban eh, na pumusta ako last year pa.
pinusta niya yung kanyang...
Magpapatuloy daw siya.
Magpapatuloy ka.
Pag nahuli sa... Pag napunta sa ICC si Senator Paco.
Delikado nga.
Ganun, delikado.
Pero ngayon, hindi nakatanong ko.
Mm-mm.
Inuusan na lang ko yung OG, yung PNP, sa NBI para hulihin
Mm.
si Senator Paco. Anytime ngayon.
Mm-mm.
Ang kinakatakot po, paano kung may mangyaring masama? Paano kung nakaputukan, nakapatayan?
Oo nga.
Lumaban siyempre, nalaban yun kasi alam naman natin, illegal yun.
Kidnapin siya eh.
Illegal.
That is truly the worst case scenario.
Anong worst case scenario nun? Attorney Gumilon, Attorney.
Well, if that happens and something bad would arising out of that illegal course of action, then we can file appropriate cases, no? I know there will be a slim chance of us winning under this administration, but at least we will see to it that the cases will still be alive until 2028.
Pero, Attorney, paano kung may nangyaring masama? Both sides. Kunyari, kayo wag naman, ang Senator Bato. Paano kung...
Sana hindi.
Kung sa utos
Sana
nila na
hindi.
yun,
Oo.
naging agresibo ang pulis at nadisgrasya
Yes.
siya, anong implikasyon nun
Okay.
sa atin? Lalong-lalo na wala naman siyang kaso dito sa Pilipinas.
At this is why napaka-importante na i-lay down natin yung basis kung sino ba yung gumagawa ng illegal dito. Kung illegal yung arrest sa kanya, if it is an unlawful arrest, di tama yung self-defense ni Bato. Pero kung sabihin ng gobyerno na legal yung arrest at sabihin ng Supreme Court na legal yung arrest, di fugitive si Bato, resisting arrest pa, murderer pa.
Kaya alam, may presumed regularity ngayon kung anong gawin ng gobyerno, tama pa for now.
Kaya nga, I am reminded of a Latin phrase, di ba? Qui custodiet ipsos custodes. Who will police the police? Di ba? Sino ba nagpupulis dun sa police? Kaya nga, ang magiging ending talaga nito, let's face it, power dictates lawfulness. No? So, ang hope na lang natin is tumagal ito enough until our administration goes back to a level of
Sanity.
tolerable sanity.
So, kayo palang mga attorney, doon na pala kayo manunumpa sa ICC. Pag, kasi parang babaliwalain nila yung ano natin dito.
Hindi, kumukuha na nga ako ng ICC clearance, di ba? Imbis sa NBI.
Kasi meron din, may sinabi yung DOJ kahapon sa kanilang press conference na ang sino man, katulad nito, yung kay Senator Robin Padilla, kung sino man daw ang tumulong kay Bato para makatakas, mananagot sa batas. Batas saan? Dito o sa ICC? At saka meron ding isa, yung kasama mo, yung kaibigan mo, na abogado din, na sabi nga ni Banat Bay, yung DBC.
Yung Petit.
Oo, yung DBC. Sabi din niya na kailangan daw, sampahan na ng kaso sa ICC. Etong si Robin Padilla for yung pagtakas nga daw.
Okay. Bago sumagot si Atty. Torion, I'm sure he has many thoughts. Pero sana po, yung mga kababayan natin, nakikita na po. Sana po, nakikita na ninyo kung gaano ka gulo na at kung gaano ka walang batas na, walay balaod. No?
Oh, good.
Wala na talagang mangyayari sa Pilipinas kapag nangyari yan. Magkakagulo na, and that is a precursor to baka magka-civil unrest na, which we don't want, which nobody wants. Kasi kumbaga, pagdating sa point na yun, magsasakitan na tayo niyan. No? And I really don't want that to happen.
Pero
Well,
what do you think is the solution?
as to the solution, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can really guide us, no? And we need more prayers because I'm afraid if I will speak out my mind, a sedition case might be filed against me or
Hindi
other
kaya
cases.
attorney, masingit ko, ang solusyon dito, magdesisyon na ang korte. Kasi
Malaking
may side
bagay
kayo, may side sila. Kanya-kanya tayong side. Sino magde-decide? Hindi dapat yung korte. Ang tataka ko, bakit medyo matagal? Kasi ilang PRRD pa yung patatangay bago sila magde-decide.
Ako nang sasagot, hindi sila pwedeng sumagot doon. Delikado sila. Wala, malabo.
Pero we leave it really up to the people na to respectfully call on the magistrate. No? Kasi hindi naman po masama yun. Sa totoo, kung minsan we overreact, we are overly cautious. Pero sa totoo, hindi naman po bawal manawagan sa Korte Suprema if you are being very polite.
Yung
being
tawag naman,
respectful.
di ba, attorney, na hindi kung kanino pabor. Yung tawag lang na mag-decide agad.
Oo, and many people have done that. Hindi naman sila nakasuhan. Kami lang, out of a restraint, no? Siyempre, hindi na namin gagawin yan. Pero, of course, people can do that.
Ang gusto ko lang i-add dyan, specifically with respect to the good Secretary of Justice, no? Si Secretary Vida, that there will be consequences for persons who will assist Senator Bato de la Rosa. I think what he means is probably that he will be filing violations of
Obstruction.
obstruction of justice under PD 1829.
Nung una, akala ko din, partner ha, pero they are now claiming na hindi na sila obstruction under our laws, pero obstruction under ICC.
ICC.
Kaya nga mas tumalala. Why is that important? Kasi yung obstruction po dito, ang penalty niyan hanggang prison correctional. So 6 years, pababa. Immune ang senador dyan, at least from arrest. No? Pwede mo kasuhan, pero after na yan didinggin, after their tenure. No? So, ibig sabihin, si Senator Padilla, hindi po yan pwedeng makulong for obstruction habang nakaupo siya. Kung 1069 ang gagamitin natin.
1869.
1869. Iba pala yung 10. Pero, pag ginamit nila yung ICC obstruction, again, no holds barred na naman. And why do we want this? Again, it is pagmamadali
country na
niya.
tayo ngayon.
Oo nga eh.
4 branches
Pero under
na.
PD
Schengen na tayo.
1829 kasi, sa akin is, it assumes there are 5 modalities of committing a violation under PD 1829. But all of which presupposes that you have committed a crime. Dito
Correct.
wala namang crime eh. Nasabi na nga ng aking magiting na partner, yung konsepto, nullium crimen, nullia poena sine lege. There is no crime when there is no law punishing it. What crime has a person committed when there is no crime here in our country? And if they will charge it in the ICC, ayan, iba na naman yan. Kasi nga, March 17, 2019, hindi na tayo party doon sa ICC. So how can that person commit a crime for a treaty of which we are no longer a party, and today is already 2026. So whether you charge him for a non-existing crime in the Philippines or an alleged crime in the ICC, that cannot attach to my humble mind simply because of the fact that here there is no crime and we are no longer a party. The provisions of the statute will only apply within the period of the Philippine situation, which is 2011 up to 2019. So yun po ang ating
So sinasabi ni
argument yan.
DOJ Secretary na yung obstruction na yun is obstruction from the ICC?
Hindi nila sinasabi niyan. Pero tayo na lang ang
Wala kasing
nag-supply
ano
ng interpretation in order to help the people understand.
Kasi wala namang warrant local eh.
Yung sa kanila kasi, they made it, I think, intentionally vague. So as to perhaps provide more teeth to their threat to the
As
people.
a lawyer, you can, di ba, pwede naman kayo makipag-usap sa client nyo.
Ako, ngayon, si Senator Bato de la Rosa, nung March, kailan nga ba yun?
13 ba yun?
Yung March 11
Madaling
siya
araw.
nagpakita, no?
So, 14 ng madaling araw.
Tsaka, the next day, nagkausap kami, sabi ko, Boss, bakit di mo ako kinukontak? Sabi niya sa akin, mahirap kasi yan, Bet. Kaya kung i-text kita, mag-ping yan, matrace yung location ko. O kaya pala, hindi niya ako kinukontak. At saka, di ba KOJC experience natin din yan? Na yung cellphone natin ay...
Pero wala naman sumusunod-sunod sa inyo aside dun sa asawa ninyo. Joke lang po.
Sa kanya.
Wala naman sumusunod sa inyo.
I refuse to comment on that because it might encourage them to do that, no? But I hope and pray na wala naman personalan ito. Trabaho lang ito sa amin. Huwag naman kami idamay.
Ako, I honestly believe hindi naman yata physical ang threat na nakikita nila sa amin. Pero palagay ko po, sa PR, palagay ko po may konting tumatrabaho, ika nga, sa mga pangalan namin.
Walang imposible
Okay
sa
lang.
gobyerno to. Lahat
Oo.
gagawin.
It's okay.
Para lang magipit, pati abogado. Di ba?
Oo, pero ako kasi, ang lakas talaga, walang plastika to, ang lakas ng belief ko sa pananampalataya, pare. There is a protection, no, given sa mga may good intention. So, I believe that. So, bahala na. Kung ito ending ko, hindi okay lang. Makita ko daddy ko.
Torny Bonto, kanina po siguro karugtong ito or talagang bahagi ito ng galaw ng gobyerno kasi sinabi ni Senator Amy Marcos kanina, mabigat itong paratang niya na magkakaroon daw ng extension ang kasalukuyang administrasyon. CONAS. And then, meron daw pangako doon sa mga kongresista para mapapirma nila doon sa impeachment ni BP Sara.
Pakipaliwanag
Noel
nga
daw,
po.
Noel.
Pakipaliwanag nga po yung CONAS sa mga kasama kung di nakakaalam.
Kasi po, sa Constitution po, naglagay dyan ng article on how to amend and revise the Constitution. Kumbaga, hindi naman yan forever eh. Pwede mo yang baguhin. May 3 paraan na nakalagay doon, di ba? Constituent Assembly, Constitutional Convention, tsaka People's Initiative. No? ang pinaka-speedy yata, no, brother, is yung Constituent Assembly because it just requires yung mga mambabatas, wala na yung mga referendum, wala nang botohan, wala nang mga percent na boto sa mga tao, sila na lang pwede na nilang i-convene yan. They can sit as a Constituent Assembly. So they want to not just amend but revise the Constitution, no? Hindi ang amendment maliliit na pagbabago, no? Ang revision yung talagang mababago na yung Constitution as a whole. Some people think that term extensions are mere amendments, no? Pero palagay ko hindi nila gusto mag-term extension lang. I think they want to change the form of government.
Yes.
No? Baka magka-prime minister na tayo, which by the way, under other circumstances is actually a good idea. 'Di ba? Pero in this case, yung iuupo nilang prime minister, hindi naman natin gusto. So this will be a grand revision of the Constitution by powers who will be appointing themselves as powers with extended terms. Kawawa naman po ang inang bayan.
So, ibig sabihin, yung CONAS, yung mga mambabatas
Oo.
ang magbabago.
Yes.
Ngayon, dahil sa CONAS, mag-extend ang plano.
Kung yun ang sinasabi ni Senator
So,
Amy.
ano ang relevance ni Bato doon sa Noel na sinasabi ni Amy?
Well, ang relevance because of the high voting requirement.
Yes.
No? If they would propose a constitutional assembly, that would require a three-fourths vote of all members of Congress.
Super majority yun.
So, there is even an ongoing debate until now as to whether or not the three-fourths vote will be sourced from the House of Representatives or the Senate. Yan. So, perhaps,
Voting
ang
jointly
kanilang,
or voting separately,
yan. Voting jointly or voting separately. Perhaps, yung kanilang theory dyan, Congress So it should be voting. The senators should have equal votes with the congressman, no? Despite the fact that we have two houses of Congress. So they might force that issue and propose amendments to the 1987 Constitution, revisions to the 1987 Constitution, and then later on, submit it for ratification to the public for in a plebiscite called for that purpose.
Pampasimple. That's one of the acknowledged faults or gaps in the Constitution, yung voting jointly or separately. Kasi di ba dalawang bahay? Lower house, upper. Nakalagay lang doon, 3/4 of the vote of Congress as a whole. No? Hindi nila sinabi kung 3/4 pag magkasama or 3/4 nito, 3/4 nito.
Yan.
Kasi pag 3/4 magkasama, ang hina ng kapangyarihan ng Senado dyan. Di ba?
24 lang sila Ang
24
dami
lang.
ng mga congressmen.
Or pwede, which is parang seemingly more logical and more accepted by at least some of the professors I had, 3/4 ito, 3/4 dito.
Yun ang dapat. Yun ang dapat.
So sa tingin nyo, like Bato, sabi nyo nga paramihan ng labanan, di ba, sa Senate. Sa tingin niyo Bato is just the beginning ng pagbabawas ng Senado?
Hindi palagay kasi may mga threats na against Senator Bongo. Di ba?
So the threat is real. And as a matter of fact, it's no longer imagined. No? And there is even a move na yung iba rin i-include na meron pa nga suggestion i-include daw si Sara, si VP Sara kasi some advanced the view that she was privy to some information during the intervening period of 2011 to 2019. But I do hope and pray na hindi totoo yan. Pero there is that talk. So, but insofar as the Senate is concerned, kung walain mo si Senator Bato at si Senator what you call it?
Bongo. At pati si Robin na
pati si Robin, tinitreaten na naman. So meron na namang legal issue na baka gagamitin din nila. Shall we count it that the 3/4 vote? Shall we base it on the 24? Or shall we base it only on 21? Yun.
Yung quorum.
So sa 3/4 vote, saan natin ano na yun? Kukunin. Yung mga ganun na mga
maraming
wild
malabo.
theories na
So,
pwede.
itong nabanggit ninyo na si VP Sara na kasama sa kakasuhan sa ICC, di ba? Actually, nabanggit na ito ng mga ilang makakaliwang congressman. So, posible kaya na after nila Bato, nila Bongo, at wala nangyari sa desisyon ng hukuman, posible kayang gamitin nila itong ICC warrant laban kay VP Sara Duterte?
Well, if you want to be, to think like a criminal, there might even be an ongoing PI already, similar to PI kaya nga secret di ba? Inquisitorial method, no? Baka meron na talagang nagluluto niyan, no? Astagfirullah. Sana hindi totoo yan. At saka kung sino man yung tao na yan, he will forever be, judged by history as the madman of the wild Philippines. At least in our intervening period of the Marcos administration. Because it is legally possible that somebody might have done that via ICC procedural mechanism, because precisely cases of such nature can really be started in the ICC simply because of the fact that the proceedings are secret.
There is no legal requirement for her to be personally present in an impeachment trial. All legal experts would, concede to that. There is no such legal requirement for her to be there personally. She is there represented by her lawyers, and that is enough. No? There is no betrayal of public trust simply because she travels abroad. And as a matter of fact, you should commend her. Why? Because, she has clear mind. She is not affected by the issues against her. And that would prove that she is very capable of handling stress, which is a very good requirement before one can be considered as a legitimate, person to be considered to run for the presidency.
Attorney, dito naman po sa usaping confidential. Kasi, di ba, talagang sinala ng husto ang NBI director hanggang sa umabot siya ng punto na meron siyang mga impormasyon na hindi niya pwede na mabanggit dahil for national security, confidential. Tapos napatanong ang depensa, so hindi kayo naniniwala sa konseptong hindi confidential ang katotohanan, no? So tumutukoy ito doon sa naging pahayag ni Jock, no? Doon nga sa hiling nila na yung dapat walang confidential pag pinag-uusapan yung katotohanan. Nakita mo ba na sa future, lalo na pag-uusapan ito sa ibang articles of impeachment, na magagamit nila ito at dito masusubukan niya yung pagiging double standard talaga ng kanilang pananaw?
Yes, I think this is proof, no, na political lang talaga ito lahat, no. Simply because of the fact na kung sa tingin nila ay makakasira sa kanila, yun iniiwasan nila. Pero kung sa tingin nila ay makakatulong doon sa pag-impeach kay VP Sara, ay pinapaboran nila. So, sa tingin ko dito, this is not really a legal exercise. This has become purely a political exercise with a semblance of legality, just to give it a semblance also of respectability. Yun ang tingin ko po dyan, Sir Admar. Sana hindi sila ma-offend, but I really think that this is all political and just given a semblance of legality to give it an appearance of respectability.
Opo. Attorney, hindi po ba national security din? Kasi ang hihimayin po, marami kasi confidential na pinag-uusapan po natin, no? Yung sa AMLAC, yung mga financial records, pati yung sa confidential funds or also known as intelligence funds, yata yan sa uniformed agency. Pero pag civilian, like OVP o nung DepEd ay confidential funds. Hindi po ba mapag-uusapan din yung national security kung malalaman yung the way ikaw ay mag-handle ng mga subject ng confidential funds mo, like ang ginagamit ng mga militar? Paano hindi mo ba ito banta sa ating national security kung mabubusisi ito ng husto, attorney?
Yes. Ang sa akin dito, I would like to press more, no, on the double standard that they are applying. Kasi national security daw yung threat, no? Even if it is not a threat, I would like to emphasize the fact that there was no grave threat. No? There was no alleged crime that was committed by the Vice President when she uttered, granting that she did, but there is no admission on it. Yung threat against kay VP Sara, yun, di ba? That should have been also subjected to a clear investigation by the NBI because she is the second highest officer of the country. Pero wala silang ginawa. And he even admitted na he did not create a task force for the investigation of the threat against the life of the Vice President. And going also to your question, na when it comes to the usage of confidential funds, indeed, that is also a matter of national security because that is a fund belonging to the government, and such funds should be used judiciously and especially if it pertains to national security matters, then that should be included in the term matters of national security.
Opo, huli na lamang po, pananaw niyo po, attorney, no? Ang alam natin, si Vice President Sara Duterte, number 1 lang sa mga survey kung mangyayari ang presidential election, 'di ba? Siya yung nangunguna. So, ibig sabihin hindi pa siya presidente. Pero bakit yung pagtrato sa kanya ng mga kritiko, tila presidente na? Like halimbawa, doon po sa pagpuna sa kanya, na pagpunta doon sa ibang bansa, na kesyo dapat ganito. Alam naman natin yung kapangyarihan ng VP na napaka-limitado at napaka-content na nga, parang 5 lang ata yung mga main programs niya na umiiral. Pero parang ang trato sa kanya, presidente na, kasi grabe maka-demand. Meron pang magbabanggit na ang kanyang pagbiyahe sa abroad ay betrayal of public trust dahil hindi niya hinarap ang impeachment trial. Ano ito, attorney?
Well, in the first place, though, there is no legal requirement for her to be personally present in an impeachment trial. All legal experts would, concede to that. There is no such legal requirement for her to be there personally. She is there represented by her lawyers, and that is enough. No? There is no betrayal of public trust simply because she travels abroad. And as a matter of fact, you should commend her. Why? Because, she has clear mind. She is not affected by the issues against her. And that would prove that she is very capable of handling stress, which is a very good requirement before one can be considered as a legitimate, person to be considered to run for the presidency. So sa aking palagay, itong pagtrata sa kanya na para siyang presidente is indeed a compliment to the Vice President. No? Kasi pag lumabas siya sa bansa, binibigyan ka agad ng meaning. Wala naman talaga yung meaning na maka-affect sa kanyang trabaho kasi nga po, hindi naman po required sa isang respondent ng impeachment complaint na nandun talaga siya personally. Cite one law which requires her to be personally present during the impeachment trial. There is none. So if there is none, there is no requirement for her to be personally present in the Senate during the trial, and therefore, there is no commission of betrayal of public trust when she is not in the Senate during the hearing of the impeachment complaint against her.
Tsaka maliban dyan, yung trabaho po ng Vice President po, attorney, wala naman siyang hinahawakang opisina na sa executive talaga, kasi 'di ba binibigyan lang naman siya ng kalayaan makapag ano ba ang gusto mong programa, proyekto. Yan nga yung dinidepensa niya. Mismo siya pa ang nagdedepensa niyan. O ganito, libreng sakay, yung magnegosyo taday. Hindi siya kagaya ng presidente na i-oversee mo talaga yung lahat ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno na sa ilalim sa iyo, kahit yun pa lang hindi pa nga kasama yung impeachment trial, pero yun nga, ang pagtrato na sa kanya ay parang presidente na, attorney, na grabe na yung accountability na hinihingi sa kanya.
Yes, dapat maintindihan ng what you call this, ng ating mga ka-Pilipino, na the Vice President under the Constitution and under our laws, parang spare tire lang talaga siya sa presidente. Second in command siya, but her role really is to be the president in case wala na yung presidente. Wala naman siya, unlike before na binigyan siya ng cabinet role sa Department of Education. Yun, parang secretary din siya of Education and at the same time, Vice President. So, in effect, doon, yung time na yun na Secretary of Education pa siya, yun, pwede mo yun siyang, what you call this?
Singilin.
Pwede mo yun siyang masabi na parang cabinet officer din siya. Wala na yun sa kanya eh. So, sa pagka ngayon, balik siya doon sa pagka purely spare tire ng presidente. So, you could not blame her if meron siyang, sa tingin niya, merong compelling reason for her to go abroad because she wants to also fulfill other responsibilities, no? Kasi yung responsibility niya, hindi lang amang dito sa ating bansa. Baka meron siyang kinakailahang puntahan sa ibang bansa din. Then, that is her option because yung trabaho niya as Vice President is strictly limited to being a spare tire of the President. Whether we like it or not, ganun eh. Especially now na tinanggalan siya or nag-resign